Let's go ahead and let's talk about the agenda today. We have implemented some great new changes to better influence your sales, to promote better business, and to create a better lead flow and lead quality. So we're going to go over all of those items today. It was important for me to get you on the webinar today. So those of you that attend the webinar today, and we're going to go over the details of that, will receive a lead credit. So we're going to talk about our PPL, which is premium per lead. That's how you earn free leads. We're going to talk about the lead portal and the new processes we've implemented, our new live ops operation program, our Press One campaign, backfilling and what that means, 2017 lead packages, how you can get more leads for less dollars to help you write more business, the Hispanic marketplace in our new TV commercial. And after I finish going over those, we're going to talk about how to actually sell over the phone. And I'm going to go over those techniques. We'll talk about some scripts that we have, the ABCs of final expense, and then upcoming our Life and Annuity Expo. So we have a whole lot going on today. Sit back, relax, try to take notes. I know when you are a participant on a webinar, it's easy to just fall asleep, get distracted, start doing other things. So I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us today and ask to do your best to try to pay attention. I'll do my best to keep a clear throat, to be exciting, and to keep things moving. So first, let's talk about that $50 lead credit for participating in the webinar today. And that is for attending, you must attend the webinar in its entirety. Simply logging on and logging off 5 or 10 minutes later won't do. So at the end of the webinar, when we pull up the reports, we look for those individuals that attended the webinar in its entirety, and those individuals will receive a lead credit that will post to your lead portal. Now, obviously, you have to be a member of the final expense lead team, meaning your marketer has set you up with contracts you can be pending or in the process of, or already a participant, but you have to be identifiable on our end as a final expense lead participant, and you have to be active in the lead portal, meaning you have returned your lead portal form, you're set up in the portal, because obviously I can't deposit credits in your portal if I don't have them. It takes 3 to 4 days typically for us to get everything processed and to be able to post your credits. So if you don't see your credits posted tonight, tomorrow, don't fret. They will get done. We are in the process today of catching up on posting credits that we did over the weekend. So those credits, many have already been posted, but if yours hasn't been posted, don't worry, we will catch up with you. Now, if you don't see your credit in 3 to 4 days, feel free to please contact myself or your marketer to inquire about that credit. But it's very important for us. So we'll start off the new year with some credits in your account so you can start writing some business right away. Let's talk about PPL. As you know, last year, our premium per lead, PPL is premium per lead, and that means we have lowered the premium per lead across all lines. So no longer do you get $250 PPL for Americo, $350 for American Home Life, $500 for Gerber, etc. It's $250 across the line, all products. Now, what that simply means is you're going to get many more leads for the same amount of business you wrote last year. So $250 PPL is quite simply $250 of annualized paid premium. The average premium ranges between $800 and $900 annual, which means you're going to average 3 free leads for every sale. Now, what do we mean by paid premium? So if you write a piece of business today, and once that business posts to the website and shows that it has been paid, in other words, commissions have been generated, then that is a paid policy, and we will post the credits to your lead account at that time. We also post lead credits once a week. We go through and we get your report, which I'm going to show you later in the webinar, to double check. And it takes us a couple days to go out, verify with the carriers that the premium's been paid and posted. So typically we research your production on Mondays, and we try to have it posted by Wednesday of that same week. If an individual were to take out a policy today and request a paid date, a withdrawal date of, let's say, February 5th, the policy will issue. the policy will go in force, and the prospect, depending upon the carrier, will be covered immediately. However, your credit won't post until the premium's been paid in February. So that's what we mean by paid premium. So again, the PPL has been lowered. That's going to benefit you tremendously, and I hope that you're appreciative of that. It goes across all product lines. It takes effect on January 9th. The email blast that I sent out to most of you, I think, had January 12th in there. And let me explain. Effective January 9th, when we look at your production, we will be applying the 250 PPL credit. It may not post to your account till the 12th, because again, we try to have it done by Wednesday, but we have a lot of participants. There's a lot of production that we have to check on. So, but the effective date for you earning the PPL will be Monday. So business right this week, when we look at your account on Monday, we will post at the 250 PPL. Now, there could be future products that are not part of our platform now that would require changes. In essence, now and then we come across a new product or a carrier that's a specific product for a specific market need and niche, but they may just not pay very well on commission levels, which means we're not able to promote the 250 PPL, or we may not even be able to provide leads at all. However, we will always communicate that to you upfront, clear transparency and visibility so that you know. But I just want to let you know, as of right now, all those product lines will receive the same credit. Now, you have to be signed up again under our lead program with our contracts that we use for the lead program, and you have to be on the portal, active on the portal. If you're not active on the portal, then obviously we can't apply PPL, because that's where we put your credits to buy your leads. I'm not going to get into the IT aspects of things, but I want to try to give a clear understanding of how the system works. When an individual dials the TV commercial live, that phone number rings into our software system. At first, it rings into the ad agency server that then contacts our server. Our server then looks into the portal for an active available agent. That is an agent that's signed on as active, not temporarily unavailable, and has funds in their account. Now, the problem is when calls are coming in and agents are clicking on and off, on and off, on and off, or forgetting to come on, forgetting to go off, the server misses those calls, gets confused because of the traffic going back and forth. We never know when an individual is going to make a phone call. It could be 5 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. We can't tell you when that's going to happen. For you to sit at your phone from 8 to 5 and waiting on a call could be very, very frustrating. Well, by turning the system on and off, even for short breaks, that means that the system bypasses you and looks for another agent, and you could miss the only 2 or 3 calls of the day that was coming through that short break of time. Now, we know that you don't operate all the time. We know you don't sell all the time, but we're going to talk about that. First of all, if you are going to be away for more than 72 hours, 3 days, then you ask us to shut your portal off. We will not shut your portal off for 1 hour or a half a day or 1 day, because it makes no sense for you, it makes no sense for us, and it dries up our lead cost. Now, the way you contact us is I'm going to jump out to the portal. As you're aware, this is what your portal looks like. Actually, this is my portal, and I'm going to go into one of our employee sites so that it's not looking into privacy. So this is your portal and what it looks like now. And obviously, you can see this agent is active, doesn't have funds in his account because it's an employee, and we fund it a different way. But if this were your account and you were wanting us to shut your account off for a while, you simply come over to the Contact Us feature. Some of you are already doing that. Put your name, your email address will already be in there, and send your comments. I'm going to be down. We're going to be away. I'm going to be on vacation. Whatever the situation is, that's where you change it. On the same token, if you're wanting to add a state, take a state away, having problems recording your calls, anything that's existing on the portal, send your question through the portal. That way we have record of it. It's stored, it goes to our staff, and we're able to take care of those situations for you in real time. So please use the portal feature to contact us. Don't email us direct. as I get hundreds of emails a day, and I don't want you to be delayed. Now, this will not affect your lead flow. I know many say, well, I don't want leads at that time. Just hear me out. So first and foremost, we've talked about this before. You need a separate phone number. Don't use your only phone number that you have to take inbound calls. It doesn't make good business sense. But I don't expect you to spend money out of your pocket for an additional phone line. Those of you that take your calls on an iPhone, or an Android, you can simply search for an app that is called Sideline. It's a free app. Put that app on your phone, and it will allow you to create an additional phone number on your same phone. Now, it's very simple. That's the phone number you want us to use for your inbound calls. When that phone number, when a call comes into your phone, to that phone number, it will light up on your cell phone to let you know that's an inbound call. If you don't want to take the call, don't take the call. Don't set up your voicemail or shut off your voicemail. You won't get voicemail calls. You won't get calls. It will pass up to the next agent. It's that simple. You don't have to shut your portal off to not take calls. Now, on the other hand, some of the best calls that we get are through voicemails. Now, I know that sounds contradictory. The best call is the live transfer, yes. But we get many, many calls, and many of you are missing out on a great opportunity. Trying to either I'm not sure what it is, trying to control your flow or try to control your cost, which is very important to all of us. But we get a lot of calls in the middle of the night, 3 in the morning, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 5 in the morning. Individuals that are either work at night or they're just seniors that are up late at night watching TV, watching those infomercials, and they call in. But it is an actual voicemail. Now, what does that mean? They were patient. They made the call. They received a message. Angel Care Services, I apologize. All of our operators are currently busy. Please leave your name and phone number, and we will return your call as soon as possible. We will get those calls to you because those calls will either, one, go to your voicemail. So if you set up your voicemail to answer the call on the second or third ring, in other words, how to go to your second or third ring so that it doesn't ring 10 or 15 times and the individual hangs up. That is a great lead, but it's going to go to your voicemail. It'll store on your voicemail. You can call them back at your leisure. Try to call them back in 24 hours or so, but we've called some of our voicemails 3, 4, 5 days later, and we still have a very high conversion ratio. Why is there a high conversion ratio? Think about the nature of the call. They were watching a commercial. They were prompted, anxiety, worry, fear, all of those things that cause someone to phoned in to the commercial. And they were so interested, they left a voicemail for you to call back. That's a great lead. You don't want to miss those leads. Folks, we're missing many opportunities for sales, so I'm trying to help you. If you don't take voicemails, if you shut your phone off, whatever the situation, that's okay. You don't have to shut your portal off. Then the call will bypass you and it'll go to the next agent in line that wants to take calls. This will improve our lead flow. Those of you that are in smaller states that had a hard time getting leads, it will improve your lead flow. More leads, higher quality, making more sales. For those calls that do pass up, do not make it to an agent for whatever reason, then they will flow to our live ops center. We will take missed calls. The missed calls are taken by a live ops center, and then we transfer or pass along that call to you within 24 hours. Let me clarify. So if it's during the day, you're active, you're out there, you're working, our live ops people are going to reach out to you and do their best to live transfer and put that call to you. Put that call in your hands so that you can do what you do now, and that is sell more business. If you don't want the calls, that's fine. You're not going to answer. We're going to call the next agent. If we can't reach you in a timely fashion, then what we're going to do is take that lead, the information, and the information will be emailed to you for you to get in touch with that person at your earliest convenience. Live up calls are still billable calls. They are great calls. Some individuals that do the phone calls, in other words, the TV calls, only do live ops. So this is not like our first system we used several months ago where we took all calls but we didn't have the transferability. So this is a different situation. It will help us increase our call volume. The way we've been doing it, doing calls from 9 to 5, 8 to 4, no weekend calls, etc., has driven up our lead cost, and it just doesn't make sense. The other one is Saturday. Saturday is a great time. Now, those of you that were able to attend know that if you get contracted with Foresters, we are able to certify you to take a voice signature application with Foresters, and they are open on the weekend. So you can do your business on Saturday. You can still place business. You can still do the voice signature on the weekend, and obviously you can do all of the e-app business on the weekend. That doesn't matter. But Foresters has an actual live answering system in place for your weekend business to be able to take those calls. So when you get a lead transferred to you, it will be sent to you both by email. And the other one is it will be placed on your portal. So when you look at your portal and you look at your transactions, then that name and phone number of the individual that was transferred to you will be copied into your transaction. So let's talk about lead flow. In other words, how many leads you get, how often you get them, and how we're going to work to improve that for you as well. Some areas of the country, as you can imagine, are oversaturated. Everybody wants to sell in Florida, or everybody wants to sell in whatever state it is, Arkansas or Texas. So there's only so many people dialing a phone. We can't make people dial the phone. However, we are able to generate more leads simply by taking a couple steps. Local airtime. Currently, we use cable TV networks. That's where the leads come from. The advertisements run on those cable TV networks. And sometimes you might see them out in other places where that network is posted, but for the most part, they're cable TV networks. We can purchase local airtime, meaning if I have a commitment from an agent or a group of agents that says, for instance, I need leads. I need 25 leads a day. I need 50 leads a day. I need 100 leads a day, whatever it is. I have multiple agents and I need X, Y, and Z. If I have a commitment from you, I can purchase local airtime, which guarantees it's a guaranteed cash buy. Up front, I have to pay in advance, pay that network in advance, but they will run that ad on their local stations until we get the number of leads we want. Now, oftentimes there's an additional cost, $3 to $5 for that lead. But it's a very high quality lead. It's in a high functioning area. It's in the non-cable network market plus the cable network market at the same time. So it'll help you increase. Now, the other way is simple. It's called backfilling. So we're already implementing this. If your lead flow is slower than anticipated, and we have not already identified it. Now, we are building reports right now that in the next couple of weeks to be able to identify agents that their lead flow is not what we think it should be. And let me explain what I feel like lead flow should be. If you're on the lead program, I feel like that at the minimum, each agent should receive at least a minimum of 3 calls a day. Inbound, 15 calls a week is our goal. And so those of you that want a higher volume and are either paying for additional leads, etc., because your PPL may not support additional and you want more, and a lot of agents do that, then when you communicate that to me, we will work to generate more leads for you on a daily basis. But my goal is to make sure you get 3 a day, keep you busy so you can make money. When we've identified your lead flow is slow, and or you have told us through the contact button again on the portal that your lead flow is slow or you want to increase it, we will backfill the system with additional leads utilizing our Press One lead campaign. We're going to talk about that. The Press One lead campaign will send you a live transferred lead to your phone. So let's talk about Press Ones, how those work. I believe there's a big misconception out there in the marketplace today, unfortunately, about Press Ones. Press One leads are live transferred telephone generated leads. We use an automated system that sends out an approved message. That message has a message similar to the TV lead that is sent out to an opt-in list. So yes, there is a law going into effect this year about computer-generated calls. This does not apply. Our leads, our calls are going into people that have opted in for a list with an agreement to receive advertisement from us. Keep that in mind. So at this time, I'm going to play that call. For those of you that have never heard it, at least I'm going to try to play that call. Let me go to my desktop so I can get that call for you.
This is a very important message for people between the ages of 40 and 85. Are you prepared for the final expense in your life? Most not. And it usually leaves a huge financial burden on our loved ones for funeral home and burial expenses. What would you say if we could help qualify you for this rather inexpensive insurance for a very low cost, regardless of your health? This is a limited time offer and is backed by one of the largest financial expense carriers. To speak to a final expense representative, please press 1 on your telephone now, or press the 2 key to be taken off our list of future callings.
So that is a press 1 lead call, as we call it. As you can see, let me get our screen back. It's a very efficient call. It works very well, and we will use those to backfill your leads to be sure you have lead flow. Now, those leads are only $9. Now, is it a TV call? No. Does it have the high quality of a TV where individuals are watching TV and hit it? No, but it is a very, very high quality call. Now, let me put a disclaimer out. None of us like telemarket calls. We're all in sales. I'm in sales, and I still don't like telemarket calls. So, yes, you're going to get individuals hit 1 to tell you off. Yes, you're going to get individuals hit 1 and say, don't do this anymore. Take me off the list. We understand that, but you'll get people do that no matter what kind of leads you buy. If you were to purchase direct mail leads today, the most expensive lead out there, you'll get people fill out cards just to tease you and to irritate you. We all know that in this business. But the press 1 leads are a very, very, very high quality call. We have agents using them very, very proficiently. So we're going to use those calls. They will still go through your portal. You will hear a phone message again. You'll not only see it light up on your cell phone if you're using a cell phone with the sideline number, but when you answer the call, you'll hear that whisper message, Angel Care Press 1 call. That way you know the call is coming from either the TV or an outbound automated call. Answer the call accordingly, sell accordingly. We're going to go through that in a moment when I go through how to sell over the phone. So again, the leads, they're only going to cost $9. They come out automatically through your portal. If you want additional press 1 leads, and we're going to talk about that, on the portal, on the Contact Us feature, just simply put a note in there that you want to know more information about the press 1 leads. Now, let's talk just briefly about this. This is very important for me. Those of you that are bilingual, know individuals that are bilingual, maybe you run an office and you know of an opportunity for this. We have a great opportunity, and that is we are launching the TV commercial in the Spanish version. We're going to test market. We have already been test marketing, running the commercial in Puerto Rico. We're going to begin running it in Puerto Rico, Texas, Florida, and a few other areas. For some agents we already have that are bilingual, you must be bilingual. You have to be able to take the calls, speak to the individuals on the call, and then use the particular carriers that we have you sign up for that can handle that form of business. So we're going to launch a webinar either next week or the following week on how to access the Hispanic market. But I just want to let you know the commercial's done. I'd play it today, but most of the people on the call can't understand Spanish. But I do want to let you know that it's available. And if you're interested in the Hispanic market, getting Hispanic commercials, you need to let me know. Now, at this time, for those that are new, I'm going to play our current commercial just as a refresher.
It's not easy talking about your final expenses, but you don't want to leave that financial burden to your family. If you're 80 years or younger, protect your family now with the senior plan from Angel Care. The average funeral costs $7,000. Plus any debt medical expenses could leave your family with a lot of costly bills. For as little as $1 a day, you can get a senior plan from Angel Care Network to help pay for funeral and other final expenses. Guaranteed policies cover you up to $25,000 with no medical exam. even with a pre-existing condition. Your rates will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and your policy cannot be canceled. You can get approved and covered with one phone call, and you'll get a free prescription drug card as a gift just for calling in.
Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212.
So again, that's the current commercial. Now there's a couple versions of that commercial that run, and that's the current commercial, and we now have it in a Hispanic version as well. So let me get off that page. All right, so just as a way of review, and then we're going to go into selling, and that is our TV leads, our commercial final expense leads. You just saw the commercial. That's how they're generated. You earn your free leads with PPL, meaning for every $250 of annualized paid premium, you will receive a free lead. The average policy is about $800 to $900 annual, meaning you'll receive about 3 leads. You can get started and or supplement and add leads in at the cost of $35. Now again, the real true cost breakage of a lead for us is around $58. So we're co-opting $23 of that lead cost, and it's $35 a lead. I've had many say, wow, that sounds pretty high. Well, listen, an average agent coming on board, I'm not going to tell you the first week you're going to light it up. If you've never sold over the phone, there's a learning curve. But if you'll work with us, let us help you. The average agent is going to close 2 to 3 sales a week on 10 leads. So if you take 2 to 3 sales at $800 to $900 annualized premium, you'll see that you'll easily generate new lead credit to buy your leads moving forward, and you're going to make way more money than you invested. So it's a small investment with a great return, and the longer you sell, the more you'll do. We have individuals that convert 4, 5, and 6 out of 10 sales. So it's a great lead. The Press One leads, great lead. Both of those working together will assist you in growing your business. So the Press One leads, again, normally are $18 retail if you go out on the market and try to buy them, or look up the word avatar lead. We do not do avatar leads, but it's a similar type process. Ours are only $9. If you want direct mail leads, you can get direct mail leads. You need to just contact us by email or send us a note through the portal. The retail price of those leads are actually up to about $580 for a 1,000-piece smell drops. Your cost is only $400. The lead management system, the portal, as we've already talked about, is in place. It's still working. It's where we deliver our leads in real time, transfer to your phone. Both the TV leads and the Press One leads, all the calls are recording. I've already gone out to the demo or to the website, but let me jump out again just for those of you that are new. This is the website and what the portal would look like. If you're in your portal and if you have a lead call, the leads will all store in here. If you have lead calls that have come into you once you have taken a call. So what I'm going to do real quick is play an actual call. So I'm going to hit this. When I hit this, you're going to pick up on a call that actually starts recording the moment the individual dialed the 800 number and connected to the server.
Please wait while we connect your call. This call may be recorded for quality verification. Angel Care Services, how can I help you?
So there again, that's just a demonstration of how the portal works and that all your calls are recorded. We're not going to go through that all today because that's not the purpose of the call. So let me get back to my slides and back to the portal. There is a $19.95 monthly usage fee. You do have to pay your portal fee up front before you can get access to the system. This is a third-party system. We pay for seats to the system. We pay for the long-distance calls, etc. It's a very small portion of what it actually costs. However, I know that as agents, we're always concerned about paying money to do things. So all you have to do is produce. If you do $4,000 a month in annualized paid premium, we will waive the fee and pay it for you. So all you have to do is do what you already do. Write business, make money. You do that, we will waive the fee. But there is a monthly fee. You do have to sign up for that, for the portal to get started, because again, that's how all of our leads are delivered, is through the portal. That way, you have a better delivery system, and it's a complete CRM. Now let's talk about selling over the phone. And I want to talk about a few things. First of all, following the webinar this week, and again, give us 2 to 3 days to get everything out to you, both all your lead credits and the following. But I have a copy of what I call the ABCs of Final Expense. It is a program I've taught for several years. I'm going to send that out to you. The ABCs of Final Expense covers a host of items, has many scripts involved inside there. It details the final expense market, also how to sell face-to-face. So please take value of that. I'm going to be teaching the ABCs of Final Expense at our Life and Annuity Expo. So if you're close enough by, you want to come attend, and I'm going to go over that at the end. Sure, take advantage of that. The other one is utilize our white paper. White paper that I put in place and wrote some time ago is real simple, and that is, what is final expense? It goes through and outlines some things that I think will help you understand the marketplace, why you should be involved, and how to get more involved in it. So we're going to send those out to you. But the thing is, let's go over this. So if you're going to sell over the phone, the first thing, the most important thing is the following. And please take your pen, your paper, your recorder. We're recording this, but write these down. And I know some of these things seem so trivial and insignificant, but trust me, selling over the phone is an art, and there's things that you need to do to be prepared. First one is simply be prepared. You want to have up your e-app for the carrier that you use the most often. You want the worksheet up. And we've talked about this on our carrier training on Tuesday. And those that were attending the training for both Americo this week, and we did a Foresters training, use the corporate worksheet, the worksheet supplied by the carrier. Now, all it is a simple cheat sheet, short form application. You want to be able to pre-qualify your client before you get on the phone with the carrier to get a voice signature. Make sure you know who you're dealing with, what they have. Do they have their checking account? Are they ready to go? What kind of policy are they going to need? You need to be prepared and have that before you ever get on. And have another screen brought up even with a quote engine. So if you get into a price-sensitive situation, I've never sold final expense by price. I know there are those of us that do. I personally have never sold final expense by price. I've made $100,000 a year every year since 1992, selling in the life and the Medicare supplement marketplace. Most of my income was generated through final expense. It's a great market. It pays an unbelievable commission. The renewals are great because people that buy final expense, it usually stays on the books forever until they pass. So if you want to build up your income now and in the future, final expense is the way to do it, but you have to be prepared. However, if you do get into, like I said, a price-sensitive situation, have your quote engine up. You want to be prepared. It's one of the most important parts. The other one is review the script. You need to understand the process. The next one is please understand this is a different marketplace. It's a different way of doing business. People that call in are in a hurry. They're in a rush. They don't have time. That's why they called. They're trying to cut corners. It's not a 2 or 3 hour operation and time frame whereby that you could have if you're sitting across the table. That's okay. You can build a relationship quick. Don't be cold. Still chit-chat with them, get to know them, talk with them a little bit up front. You still want to go through your sales process, but remember, it's quick. It's hit and miss. And you have to control the call. So I'm going to give you an example. Now, obviously, this is not a live flow demonstration with a client, and we all know that you can never replicate that. But I want you to listen to what's happening. So if I were taking calls today and a call came inbound, it would begin something like this. Hello, Angel Care Services. This is Bob. May I help you? Now, I stated the words I stated for a reason. Remember, they just watched an Angel Care call. If it was a Press One lead, they didn't watch the Angel Care commercial, but they listened to a call and they've just pressed one to talk to an agent. You need to represent yourself. Hi, Angel Care Services. This is Bob. May I help you? And let them respond. Angel Care Services. May I help you? Well, I just was watching this TV and I saw this thing and I wanted to get some information. Oh, hey, well, thank you for calling. May I ask you, first and foremost, have you already decided upon the type of funeral you plan to have? Again, keep in mind, you're on the phone. Time is limited. You need to get to the point, control the call. Don't let them get into, well, I was just calling for information. Can you mail it to me? Can you send it to me? Can you put it in the app? Listen, but we get that when we knock on the door. The problem is most agents don't know how to respond to that either. So we'll talk. That's dealing with an objection. So I deal with the objection before the objection comes up. May I ask, have you already determined what type of a funeral arrangement you're going to have? Would it be a traditional type of a funeral or a cremation? Well, if the client said, well, I guess we'd be leaning towards the traditional. Well, great. Can I ask again, have you determined how much you're going to need? The average cost is around $8,500, $87,000 as you saw in the commercial. Does that sound about right, or did you have another amount in mind? Now, what you'll usually get is, well, we can do about $50 a month. Now, keep in mind, that wasn't what you asked them, but that's what you wanted. Because we all want to know how much money they can afford and what they can spend. So if they do that, well, great. That's about the average cost that we see across the nation, blah, blah, and you would follow along that means. Now, if they don't, if they say, well, I guess, it said I could get $25,000. Now, here's where you as a salesman come in. Yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, we can go up to $25,000, but I do just want to state the average burial cost is about $8,500 around the country, and $25,000 based upon age and health conditions could be quite expensive, but I can help you with both if that's what you'd like for me to do. Then you'll get something back. Well, I can't spend a lot. Well, great. Can I ask about what are you looking at budget-wise so I can see what you qualify for? Now, people like to qualify. So that's why I use the words qualify and let them talk. So once you get to that, then what you need to do is the following. Control the call. Now, look, still chit-chat. Find out where they're from, what they're doing. Do they like football? Are they ready for the playoffs? Right now it's college bowl season. Play on that. If you were talking to somebody from Alabama, I'm going to play it up. I'm going to find out how they feel about Alabama. If you find out somebody that's from in the Clemson area, I'm going to find out about that. If you're in football, NFL. So in other words, go ahead and utilize that talent that you have to talk just because you're on the phone. I would tell you that the first 10 or 15 times you talk to people, close your eyes. That's what I said. Close your eyes. Visualize them across the table and talk like you normally would, except keeping in mind time is of an essence, and you must control the call. So when I did that, I said, well, Mrs. Smith, let me explain the process, what we do, and how we determine what you qualify for. The first thing I need to do is ask you some very important questions to see so we can determine what you qualify for. And immediately, without a response, without giving them time to say, let me think about, don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. This is called a writing close. I want you to jump to your worksheet. So if it's an Americo, go to the Americo worksheet. If you're using American Home Life, do the American Home Life worksheet. Or Foresters, I would just recommend if you use Americo or American Home Life worksheet, all the carriers are pretty much the same when it comes to underwriting questions. You're going to pre-qualify your client. Go through and just explain. I need to ask you some personal questions now to help you to determine what plan you would best qualify for. And I'm going to go through and find out and ask them the health questions. Find out if they qualify. Now, once I find out they qualify, you need to be excited. Great news, Miss Smith. You do qualify. And you qualify for our premier plan or whatever plan you're selling. If I was selling America, you qualify for our premier plan, which means today when I hang up the phone, your plan will actually be in place. And God forbid, if something happens to you tomorrow, you're covered. Your burial plan is covered. Isn't that exciting? You have to be exciting so they're exciting. I've listened to some of your calls, folks, and I would go to sleep. I would probably hang up on you. Practice being exciting. Practice controlling the flow of the call. So yeah, that's exciting. So listen, let me ask you another question now. How do you think you're going to pay for this? You can do it monthly or annual. Which way would be best for you? Now, what do you think 99% of the people are going to say? Well, they're going to say monthly. But now remember, the anxiety is growing. Now they realize they're in the middle of a sales pitch. The anxiety's up. The hair on the back of their neck standing up. You have to control the conversation, keep the flow going. That's a great choice, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You know, the way that's set up with most with most of the companies that you would qualify for is the following. You know how your Social Security check works. So if I'm talking to somebody that's on Social Security, or even if you're in the insurance business, those of us in the insurance business knows we don't get checks anymore, do we? We get automatic deposit. Most companies, if you work for a company, your checks are automatically deposited. The day of paper checks are gone. So just like your check with your Social Security, you know how it's automatically deposited, and it's deposited on the second or the third or the fourth Tuesday of every month, and it goes in at the same time. That way you don't have to worry about checks bouncing. You know when your money's there. You know when it's available. That's the exact same way that the companies that we use for your final expense protection do. They'll set it up on automatic. You tell them when you want it to come out. You tell them what month you want it to start. And it's that simple. It's going to come out. So if you want to do it monthly, who do you bank with? And so don't ask, do you have a checking account? How intrusive is that? So who do you bank with? Well, I bank with Bank of America. Oh, good. That's a great bank. So what we need to do is I just need to get some information from you. We'd set that up so that your payment will come out. Now, your birth date was what? And again, we go back to that birth date. Why? Because if they're on Social Security, you know exactly when their check's deposited. Remember, there's 3 times of the month the Social Security checks are deposited. It's all based upon birth date. We know that your check goes in, it looks like the second of the month, and so what I would recommend is we start your first payment and give them the date. Next month, Thursday, does that sound good? Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, let's see. So you're with Bank of America. Your routing number is, did you know if you go out and Google, you can look up the routing number for every bank. It's out there. Or you can ask whatever you feel comfortable with. I look it up and have a list for all the main ones so that I can offer it. All I need is your account number and then the day that you want that to happen and when you want it to start. Now, this is your biggest pushback, but it's the same pushback you get when you're out there door to door. It's the same pushback you get when you're selling across the table. It is no different. Here's the difference. Remember, this is not a cold call. They called you. So because they called you, you have some credibility. Remember, they saw it on TV. So get all that information up front before you call the carrier. Once you have that information, explain that what we need to do is I'm going to do a 3-way call with the company that's going to provide the final expense protection for you. Now, let me say, Mrs. Jones, first of all, they're going to be a little boring. They're going to ask you some health questions just like I did because they don't trust me. They think maybe I made a mistake, and we want to make sure everything's proper, and I know you want to make sure everything's proper as well. So they're going to ask you a few questions. It's not going to take a lot of time, but it is going to sound a little redundant. So again, based on the answers you gave me, if you told me, and I know you were truthful, that when I asked you those health questions, you answered no. When they ask you the questions, your answer is going to be what? And let them answer. Don't add information, Mr. Smith. Don't go off. When they ask you a question, just be specific. Answer honestly, yes or no. Don't offer information they don't ask for. You don't need to talk about your relatives, your next door neighbor, your kin, or any of those things. It'll just present problems, and it could end up costing you more. I never tell people what to say, but I do try to offer and let them know. We all know that seniors, they like to talk, they like to gab, to get things going, and you don't want to create an underwriting situation, so control the call. That's why these carriers allow you to stay on the call, because they want you to assist them. So set up the call, get it ready. Let them know it's boring. It's going to take a little bit of time. Be patient. We'll get through this. When you make the call to the carrier, the first thing they're going to want to know is who you are, who you're talking to, what plan they're applying for, and if you've read the disclosure forms to them. If you're with a company like American Home Life, Foresters, if you do the disclosure forms up front, you're going to cut 8 to 9 minutes off of your call. So, and if they have email, deliver it to them, and all the above. And we do that on the carrier training, not today. But take care of all your homework up front. Who you are, what they are, what plan they want. Give them the banking information. Don't let this person over the phone, this dry individual from a carrier's office, ask for banking information for your client. Get it up front. Now hand the phone over. You're on a 3-way call. Let them begin the process of interviewing your client. While you're on the phone, they're going to come back and let you know that they're qualified, and then that's great news for your client, and they're going to leave the call. When they leave the call, you're not done. This is where people mess up. This is where agents mess up selling at home. You're not done. You want persistency. You don't want chargebacks. But keep in mind what just happened. That policy is issued. They're covered. They die an hour from now. They're covered. They haven't even collected the premium, and your policy's in force. How great is that? Americo especially, keep in mind, they have a living benefit. The policy is covered on the spot, even though the premium has not been drafted. Now, you don't get paid till the premium's drafted. Your lead credit doesn't get posted till the premium's drafted, but your policyholder is covered. Now you need to take care of some things that are important. And that is, let them know that their policy is going to be mailed in about 24 hours, but you want them to call you back in 3 days. Put a date on their calendar 3 to 5 days out in the future that you want them to call you as soon as their policy arrives in the mail so that you can make sure they did it right and that it's exactly what you asked for. This is where you build yourself up. Let them know that you're concerned. Let them know that you're there to take care of them. And put it on your calendar, folks. If they don't call you, you need to call them. This is called eliminating buyer's remorse. They're going to talk to their kids, their relatives, their next door neighbors and tell them that they bought something over the phone and gave out their social security number and date of birth, and they're going to freak out. Stay in communication. If they have emails, send out your business card to them by way of email. Follow up, follow up, follow up. When you call them back, review the policy. Have them open it up. Have them look at the premium. Have them look at the depth. The first face page on the final expense policy has all the information on what you need. Policy number, name, birth date, premium amount, and the face amount. It's all right there. Review it with them. Congratulate them. Get excited. Let them know. And this is when you get referrals. Ask them about their beneficiaries. I see that you named Jimmy Joe as is that your daughter, your son, etc. And get referrals. And then put it on your calendar. Call them again in 30 days. Make sure they stay excited. It's that simple. Smile, dial, we used to say. Now it's smile and answer the phone. While you're on that call, remember, if that call was live transferred to you through our software system, another call will not come in. You don't have to worry about missing a call, bypassing a call, or being charged for another call. It's all going to pass you. The portal controls your flow. When you hang up, that call was recorded and it's stored forever right on your site. So listen, I am running low on time. I'm going to go through some of our questions now. On is it important to determine as soon as possible if they use a debit card, debit express, or yes. When you get to the banking information, you will have individuals that use direct express, meaning they only have the Social Security debit card. And if you do that, we have carriers that will accept that. Gerber, Transamerica, S&L. So there's other carriers that do that, and that is a good point. It's very important to find that out up front, who they use. Okay. What if they're... So if they ask right away, just send the information through the mail. Listen, that is an age-old objection that comes up right away. And my response is real simple. Ma'am, we represent over 200 companies that provide this type of service. There are many questions that I could never get from you to be able to send out every brochure, everything that's over the phone. It'll take me about 5, 7, 8 minutes to determine what you best qualify for. And then at that time, if you still like for me to send something to you by way of mail, I'll have a better understanding of what that would be. Then go through your process. Before they know it, they filled out an application online. If you just get pressed to it and you have to send it through the mail, I would still go through the writing close, get the application filled out, and mail it to them. I would not send them anything if they're just playing around and wanting brochures. I just don't do that. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of my time. How many states should an agent have in order to get TV leads daily? That's a good question. I recommend that agents are in at least 3 states, 5 if you can be. But if you're in a larger state like California, Texas, then it's probably not necessary. But I always recommend that you get in at least 3 states. Okay, that question. List the states we run TV leads in. Anywhere. Anywhere. Puerto Rico, Alaska, Hawaii, it doesn't matter. We can run the TV lead anywhere. Same PPL for Gerber too? Yes, same PPL now for all carriers. What company should we use for this program? Well, I recommend Americo, American Home Life, Gerber at a minimum, Mutual of Omaha, but I highly recommend Foresters because Foresters has their great voice app now. They do the direct express payment as well. It's a very good process for the direct express payment. They have a great product, and you can do voice signature and work on the weekend. So I'd highly recommend American Home Life, Foresters, Americo, and Gerber. And that looks like about it. Those of you asking about the Hispanic commercial, reach out to me so we can talk about that. I see some good points in there. And yes, we can do weekends if you use Foresters because they have a process for taking weekend calls. Okay, I appreciate your time today. We had some great comments, feedback. A lot of people online give us 3 to 4 days to get your leads, your credits posted. Get ready to start taking those calls and let's increase our sales. Everyone have a great day and thank you again for attending.